Hey, it's Brad. So, my kids love to game the system. Just whatever it is. Put some rules in front of them and they'll see what they can do with it. Like, they have different approaches. My daughter, when she was barely over a year old, be crawling out of her crib. And a little bit around the same age, my son was breaking the slats out of it. So he could get out and just run through the wall. Whatever works. But they got older, and now I know that they understand what's right, what they're supposed to do in most contexts. And when they push the boundaries of, they know what's right, and then they're unsupervised, and so they can get away with it, then I don't really know how to explain it to them, so I'm trying to talk through it here. But it makes changes in your brain. Iterating on pathways that shouldn't be rewarding. Because, if they had candy or ice cream or whatever, then, it's sweet. Part of what makes it taste that much better as dessert is it's after, it's the reward, the build up for getting through the meal, eating all your vegetables, whatever. But if they had the option, they'd be eating ice cream every night. And they would pretty quickly understand that gets old. But they don't get the chance. So in their mind, that's still a possibility. Eating ice cream every night, and that would be amazing. But we don't let them because we know not only is it not good for them, but it wouldn't be amazing. But then adding on that they know, like, if they're not supposed to have something and they go and get it anyway, then the forbidden fruit aspect has its own, thrill associated. And that's, partially fear of getting caught, and partially, once they know what's right, should be guilt to some extent, which is just, the conflict, the cognitive dissonance of knowing what's right and then knowing that that's not what you're doing. But then to normalize that, you have to hedge around things and kind of weasel your way through. And once you justify a little bit, then it's a slippery slope to justifying whatever. But all of that is just kind of gradation of dissociation. Like you're separating, oh, well, what I did wasn't wrong because, here's my rationale and that makes it okay. Or what I did in this context wasn't wrong because it doesn't count as whatever the wrong thing is. And those things generate more panic and more fear when potentially even confronted, until the dissociation's pretty much complete and they've just deluded themselves into believing their own lie that whatever it is okay. And then it's just apathy from there on, because they don't care about the rules after that. But the guilt, just like, worry and pain and stuff, it's, even as guilt, it's there only while it's needed. Same with worry. But, it's a notification of your awareness of whatever it is. So, like of guilt, of there's a conflict between what I know to be good and this current prioritization. And worry, there's conflict between what I want to happen and what I expect might happen. But I mean, it's like notifications on your inbox or messages or something. You can read or at least get the gist of a message and just read it in the pop-up or whatever. Just read the summary without fully reading the message, and then it just stays unread. And that's fine, to get the general idea of what it is, if you're going to come back to it or if you don't care about it. But if you habituate that avoidance of not reading the messages when they come in, then you start to be known as a person that doesn't respond, or at least doesn't respond right away. And when you don't read the messages, then as far as they know, you just aren't listening. Nobody wants to talk to somebody that isn't listening. So when you start to do things that aren't what you're planning to do, then you end up being a person that does those things instead of the person that you're planning to be.